Welcome to France in the late 18th century, a kingdom of contrasts. Extravagant wealth existed alongside crushing poverty. The French monarchy, under King Louis XVI, reveled in luxury at the Palace of Versailles. Meanwhile, the peasantry, burdened by heavy taxes and feudal obligations, struggled to survive. The French aristocracy, exempt from most taxes, enjoyed vast privileges. They controlled land, wealth, and access to power, leaving the commoners with little voice or opportunity. The intellectual ferment of the Enlightenment further fueled discontent. Thinkers like Rousseau and Montesquieu challenged the absolute authority of monarchs. They advocated for individual rights, popular sovereignty, and limitations on government power. These ideas resonated deeply with the frustrated French populace, who yearned for change. The American Revolution, a successful rebellion against British rule, provided a potent example. It demonstrated that the seemingly invincible power of a monarchy could be overthrown. The French, inspired by the American fight for liberty, began to imagine a similar revolution of their own.
In 1789, facing a financial crisis, Louis XVI was forced to convene the Estates General. This assembly, comprised of representatives from the three estates, the clergy, nobility, and commoners, had not met for over a century. The Third Estate, representing the vast majority of the population, demanded greater representation and a say in governance.
However, the traditional voting system, which gave each estate one vote, effectively marginalized the commoners. Frustrated by their lack of influence, the Third Estate declared itself the National Assembly. They claimed to represent the true will of the French people. This bold act, a direct challenge to the authority of the king, marked the beginning of the French Revolution. The king, initially hesitant, eventually recognized the National Assembly. However, tensions remained high as the monarchy and the newly formed assembly jockeyed for power. Meanwhile, the streets of Paris buzzed with revolutionary fervor. Pamphlets circulated, denouncing the monarchy and demanding change. The common people, inspired by the actions of the National Assembly, began to take matters into their own hands. The revolution was no longer confined to the halls of power. It had spilled onto the streets. On July 14, 1789, a Parisian mob, driven by fear and anger, stormed the Bastille. This imposing fortress, a symbol of royal tyranny, held political prisoners and vast stores of gunpowder. The capture of the Bastille, a resounding victory for the people, sent shockwaves throughout France and beyond. It marked a turning point in the revolution, demonstrating the power of popular action. The fall of the Bastille unleashed a wave of revolutionary fervor across the countryside. Peasants, emboldened by the events in Paris, rose up against their feudal lords. They attacked castles, burned manor houses, and demanded an end to centuries of oppression. The revolution, initially focused on political reform, was now transforming into a social upheaval. The National Assembly, seeking to restore order and consolidate its authority, enacted sweeping reforms. They abolished feudalism, adopted the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, and began drafting a new constitution. France was undergoing a radical transformation, casting aside the old order and embracing new ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity.
Section 4. Terror and Triumph, the Radical Revolution. As the revolution progressed, it entered a more radical phase. The monarchy was abolished and Louis XVI was executed in 1793. The Reign of Terror, led by myself, Maximilien Robespierre, and the Committee of Public Safety, sought to eliminate counter-revolutionaries and establish a virtuous republic. Thousands were sent to the guillotine, accused of treason or disloyalty to the revolution. The Terror, a period of extreme violence and political repression, cast a dark shadow over the revolution's ideals. Despite the turmoil, the revolutionary government achieved significant victories. The French armies, fueled by revolutionary zeal, repelled foreign invasions and expanded French territory. The revolution's ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity spread beyond France's borders, inspiring movements for change across Europe and beyond. The French Revolution, though marked by periods of violence and instability, was also a time of remarkable social and political transformation. The Reign of Terror eventually ended with the overthrow and execution of Robespierre in 1794. A new government, the Directory, emerged, seeking to establish a more moderate and stable republic. However, the Directory proved ineffective, plagued by corruption and political infighting. France, exhausted by years of revolution, yearned for stability.
Section 5. The rise of Napoleon, from general to emperor. Out of the chaos and uncertainty emerged a new figure, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant military strategist, Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French army during the Revolutionary Wars. In 1799, he seized power in a coup d'état, establishing himself as first consul of France. Napoleon, a shrewd politician and charismatic leader, brought an end to the revolution's turmoil and ushered in a period of stability and order. Napoleon consolidated his power, enacting a series of reforms to modernize French society and government. He established the Bank of France, reformed the education system, and created a new legal code, the Napoleonic Code, which is still influential today. Napoleon's military genius led to a string of victories across Europe, expanding French territory and influence. He crowned himself Emperor of the French in 1804, marking the end of the French Republic and the beginning of the Napoleonic era. Napoleon's reign, though marked by military success and administrative efficiency, ultimately ended in defeat. His ambition and expansionist policies led to a series of costly wars. After a disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, Napoleon's empire began to crumble. He was defeated by a coalition of European powers in 1814, exiled to the island of Elba, and ultimately met his final defeat at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Section 6. Conclusion. A revolution's enduring legacy. The French Revolution, a tumultuous and transformative period in history, left an enduring legacy. The revolution's ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity resonated far beyond France's borders, inspiring movements for change across the globe. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, a cornerstone of the revolution, became a foundational document for human rights. The French Revolution demonstrated the power of popular sovereignty and the fragility of absolute monarchies. It led to the abolition of feudalism, the rise of republicanism, and the spread of democratic ideals. Though the revolution was marked by periods of violence and instability, its impact on France and the world was profound and lasting. The French Revolution remains a testament to the human desire for freedom, equality, and a just society. Its legacy continues to shape our world today, reminding us of the ongoing struggle for human rights and democratic values.